Hi, this is Justine Diamond. I am sorry that we are starting a little late on the town hall this week. I think you'll find it's worth it. We were just getting some of our participants sorted out. So welcome to Town Hall for February 19th, 2016. Town Hall is a weekly Google Hangout on air where team leads and community members are able to talk about what they're doing in the community. And where normally now I would give a whole bit about events and what's going on in the community, we're going to change it up a little bit today, and we are going to start with some education initiatives. We've got a returning guest. That's Chris Duckett, who, if you remember, his students stopped by a couple of weeks ago after they did their finger-free day. They have done a fantastic um, education project, and they are here. He is here with his students to talk about that. So what I'm going to do is I was going to share. They've got a great web page with all of the curriculum and all of the links and videos, and I'll probably get that to share on my page, but right now I'm just going to turn it over to Chris and we can talk to him and his students. Chris, you just need to unmute. There you go.
Yeah, thank you. So we spent hit and miss throughout the beginning of the school year. It took us a while to do this project because we were learning what parts and tools we needed, but it's really exciting to have finished it where the students, they've created 6 of the different hands that are on the e-NABLE site, and so they're going to each take turns just showing you and telling you guys a little bit about what they learned from making each of these hands. So go ahead and start. Go ahead.
Tell them you introduce yourself. So tell us who you are and what year you are.
Grade level.
Grade level.
So I am Andrew, and I'm in 6th grade, and my group made the Cyborg Beast. It costed $22.50 to make it. It works pretty well.
Lovely colors.
Yeah, we were originally trying to make it purple. We didn't have any purple filament, so it actually flexes okay.
Yep.
So
one thing that we thought was pretty good about the Cyborg's design is using the metal pins. Really makes it nice and smooth. Although I know that Peter and some people have used the smoothing stuff for ABS, and that helps those pins. But the metal pins are definitely nice.
Did you print that in ABS or PLA?
We did all the hands in PLA.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Victoria, and my hand is the K1 design, and I'm in 5th grade, and this costed $11.21, and it bends pretty well and works well. It fits most people, and it works, and you can size it to the right size.
So I have a question for you, Victoria, based on what happened when I made my first K1. Okay, so you know the fingers print up, they print right side, they print vertically, right? And then you snap them. Did you try and snap the top joint and break a finger?
No.
No, oh, you did better than I did then. That's what happened when we first did one here. We didn't realize that wasn't a joint and that it was just decorative, so we broke a couple of fingers and had to reprint them. So can you hold that up just again one more time for me? That looks really good.
We also had to glue a lot, and we also had mess-ups in the prints a lot because it messed up a lot because we had problems with the sizing, and it kept skipping a print right here, so we had to
skipping a layer,
so we couldn't, so it broke on both sides.
Oh.
Super glue we found to be very helpful.
Yeah, so was that the hardest hand to print, the one that gave you the most trouble?
Yeah.
Very good.
I think because the nature of the design and the fact that you have to print it up like this, we had to create supports in Tinkercad to help it print without getting loose from the print bed. So that was definitely the hardest hand to print. But after it's finally made and printed, it's a really nice hand.
Yes, it's a very smart looking hand. When we printed ours, we had some similar problems, so I appreciate that, and I'm glad to hear your experience. Okay, who's next?
My name is Braden. I'm in 8th grade, and my group did the osprey hair.
Oh, that looks great. I'm sorry that Peter Binkley is not here. I know that's his design, and I'm sure he'd be happy to see it, but he'll be watching this at some point. That looks awesome. You guys did a great job.
Thank you.
So what did you think? How was it stringing the fingers on that with the monofilament?
It was pretty easy.
It was easy, yep.
This hand was nice because you just burn the ends, it melts it in it, and there's no knots, no crimp beads to work with, and then to connect it to the gauntlet, you just use those set screws. So as far as how easy to assemble it, this is definitely one of the easiest, and not having any elastics is, I don't know, it's very convenient, nice and easy.
Yeah, it was the easiest kind of build in my opinion.
That's great. Hi.
Hi, I'm Corbin, and I'm in sixth grade, and my group did the Raptor Reloaded hand, and it works pretty well.
Hold it up a little bit.
It was $21,
There you go.
and I think we're the only group that did glow fill, which is this.
They use glow-in-the-dark filament, which is pretty fun.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fun.
Oh, and the gauntlet. The gauntlet we did was we thermoformed it, so it was like flat, and we molded it around it.
It's Stephen, I believe it's Stephen Davies from the UK, his thermoform gauntlet, which was really fun to try out.
Right. I really like the thermoform gauntlets. They print faster, and they use less filament, and also a thermoform gauntlet is stronger. And I'm wondering if any of your students know why the thermoform printed gauntlet would be stronger than the traditionally printed gauntlet. If they can think about why it might be stronger. They can think about that for a little while and get back to me. They don't have to answer me right this second. Think about the way the printer works and what the printer does and what it does, and see if you can figure out why that would be stronger.
I think it would be stronger because the grain runs the same. You can bend the gauntlet, and the grain will still run across it like this.
That's exactly right. Who are you? I'm sorry, what's your name?
Paul, I'm in 6th grade.
Very good. That's exactly right. Okay, which hand did you make?
I was K1.
Are you on the K1? Okay.
Yeah.
My name is Gabby, and I'm in 8th grade, and I did the raptor hand.
Oh, it looks nice.
So this cost $15, and we did the thermoform padding here for the.
Oh, right. For the top, you did that with thermoforming. That looks really good.
So they had fun using her blow dryer from home, and then they also created these holes inside the mesh with Tinkercad. So it was a fun custom project for them to try out to fit to one of our students' palms.
Okay, that's fantastic. So that was actually for a recipient.
Well, one of our students who has fingers, but just to experiment in that way.
No, that's a good thing to do. Because I saw some of the other hands had Stephen Darrow's demo bar, which I'm very big a fan of.
Okay, one more hand.
One more.
When we supposed to say I wasn't listening. Alright, so I'm Quentin, and I'm in 8th grade, and my group made the Phoenix hand and made it really colorful.
That certainly is colorful.
and the loud bangs, the cupboards shutting after. I finished repairing this part right here. The string broke,
Okay.
and then I put the materials back in the cupboard and let the door slam shut.
Oh, okay.
So it's been neat working on these hands because, you know, parts break, strings break. We have to glue things. They have to restring. It's been a neat troubleshooting experience for the kids to keep it up to date, and so we've had a lot of fun with the project, and hope other teachers can compare the 6 hands and see what they think too.
I think it's great that you did the 6 hands, and if I can do this, I'm going to share my screen and bring up your project page. So you can see here that they've got the class they've got videos and the curriculum and information about the 6 hands. And this resource is in the repository, the E3 STEAM repository, which is on the Foundation site. And you can get it there, as well as some other really great resources, which I'll talk about in a little bit. Oh, Peter Binkley chimed in on the question and answer, guys. He says, nice job. And he has a question about where did you get the thermopalm for the Raptor? So was that
Universe.
was that Gabby?
Here, come on.
We got the outline for the Raptor hand off of Thingiverse, and then using Tinkercad, we filled it in, and then we made all the little squares.
We'll see if Peter has any additional questions. I don't see anything yet. That's amazing. You guys did a really good job. I'm really proud of you. I think that what you've done is going to help a lot of people in a lot of other classrooms who can, because of all the great stuff you've done and made available, they can do this project. So, oh, there's Rich.
Justine, can I jump in with a question? Chris, it's good to meet you.
Thank you, too.
Thanks a lot for sharing your curriculum. We posted that to the repository. Hopefully other teachers will get some inspiration and information about your project. Can I ask you to talk a little bit about, like, how did you guys get involved with e-NABLE? Where did that come from? Did you have the printers first and then you connected to e-NABLE, or how did that just work out?
We sort of stumbled upon e-NABLE last March, so almost a year ago, and we're just inspired by the idea. And one day during PE, we were doing some team building activities and brought up the idea of, hey, what would you guys think about 3D printing prosthetic hands for kids? And they're like, sure. So then we started looking into that, fundraising, and got a 3D printer this summer specifically for this purpose. So that's what inspired us to get a 3D printer. We're going to use it for other things too, but this was the most exciting way to use it because, you know, our school, like most other schools, want to reach out, help others, use our knowledge, our skills to lend a helping hand as best we can.
Yeah, awesome. I love that idea of using this project to leverage it to get a 3D printer for your class, and then you can do all other types of projects with it. So awesome work. Have you guys been printing for actual recipients as well?
Well, we're waiting. We're definitely in the system with e-NABLE, and we're ready to rock with that. In the meantime, just sort of letting people know what we're doing and seeing if we can make any local connections with people. Those haven't panned out quite yet, but just the other day, you can see in our blog, we met a man without fingers, and he tried on one of our Raptor Reloadeds and was trying it out and bending it and picking up stuff. He's like, oh, this is great. It works just as well as my $20,000 prosthesis. So we were pretty blown away by that, and it was neat to meet somebody that potentially could use it.
Yeah, I think there's something very cool there that I think a lot of times schools get convinced, or they think that they can't move forward because they don't have a recipient yet. But I love what you guys have been doing with not only just the building in the hands, but I love the designs. Do you use exclusively Tinkercad? Like the kids load the files into Tinkercad and they can just then tweak them?
We've tried a variety of software, and Tinkercad is by far the easiest for all of us to use, to import STL files, to modify them, and then to download them again. So that's what we would recommend to middle school, junior high kids. It's definitely the easiest.
Yeah. Awesome work. Nicely done.
Thank you.
Okay, we did get Mohammed Abulagag says, wonderful job, guys. And he asks, was it hard for you to understand the process of making the hands? And I assume by that he means the assembling and putting them together.
Well, for my experience with the Osprey hand, it wasn't hard to put together at all. It was actually quite simple after we watched the tutorial. So it was actually pretty easy to do, but that's because we didn't have to deal with any like knots or anything. We just had to put the string in and burn it, and that's most of the hardest part for the hand most of the time. So it was pretty easy to do or something.
Yeah, a lot of the students who had the elastics, it was tough. The Phoenix definitely is nice to have the rubber bands. I mean, that's way easier than tying knots with elastic. But also, a lot of the kids really appreciated Drew Murray's idea about bead crimping. That saved a lot of time and frustration. So whatever shortcuts to make things easier, we were gung-ho for and encourage others to do the same.
That's great. Yeah, the beads and the crimping, it's a really neat look. It's very neat looking, and I agree. Tying the knots can be difficult. I find I have to do it with pliers, and it's still a lot of adjustment for me. So the fact that they've done it so well, I'm impressed, because that's something I struggle with myself. Rich, anybody else who's on the call? I don't see. Oh, we do have another question. It's not directly a question to you, but Patrick Butcher says that he's new to the project and he didn't get good results with PLA. And are there any health concerns about using ABS? I don't know. I know I will get the details on that. I don't believe that there are, but I think with most products we recommend using a prosthetic sock, so there's something between the plastic and the recipient's skin. But I know a lot more about PLA than I do about ABS personally, so unless someone on the call has a good answer on that, I'll have to get the answer for you, because the people who would have that information aren't with us today. Okay, well, Chris, thank you very much. I think that you guys have done a fabulous job. I'm very impressed with what you've put together. It's going to be a resource that I know is going to be very widely appreciated. It's the sort of thing a lot of teachers have been asking. Really enjoy working with that. So thank you very much. And the fact that you did all 6 of the hands and are able to compare them, I'm fabulous, because I don't know that anybody else, certainly in education, that arena has approached it that way. And I think that's great.
Well, thanks. It's an honor to be a part of this community. It's fun, and I guess I'll have my kids say goodbye to you guys.
Okay. Bye. Yeah, I'm sorry I don't have a camera today. Bye-bye. Thank you very much. Hopefully we'll see you again soon.
All right.
Thanks a lot. Bye-bye. Okay. Keeping on our education theme, we've got another teacher here from Milford, Ohio. I do have information about, and I just messed up my computer, so you need to just give me 1 second so I can do a bit of a better introduction of Peter Leeper and his students. Peter is a teacher with the Greater Oaks Institute of Technology and Career Development in Milford High School. I'd actually heard about Peter before I even realized he was in our community, because I have a friend from college who is on the Board of Education for Milford High School, and when she knew what I was getting involved with, she kept telling me that there was this great teacher in their district who would be interested. He teaches our Project Lead the Way courses at Milford High School, including Introduction to Engineering Design, Digital Electronics, Aerospace Engineer, and Design and Development. He's involved in after-school robotics mentor for BattleBots, and of course the e-NABLE major mentor for the Arm for Hope project. His involvement with e-NABLE began when he met Greg Dennison, and I assume Luke, at a local STEM event, and he immediately caught a vision for how e-NABLE and Project Lead the Way could be leveraged for mutual benefit. And I'm going to pass this over to him and his students, and we'll hear from them.
Well, hello. We're happy to be a part of this community. And as Justine said, caught a vision after meeting Greg, because we have 200 students in this engineering program, and I'm always on the lookout for authentic experiences for them. And this seemed like a good fit, and I happen to know a little girl in our church that had an upper limb difference, and partnered her with some amazing students, and we'd like to show you what we've come up with so far.
I would love to see it, because this is very exciting.
Let's have the students introduce themselves, and they could take it from there.
Sounds good.
I'm Katie, and I'm in Intro to Engineering. Mr. Leeper just said, we're doing this project with e-NABLE, and, if you'd like to join, email me. So I emailed him, and, it's a very great project, and I'm glad that I'm in it.
I'm Jack. I'm a senior, and Mr. Leeper brought e-NABLE up one day in class, and I was immediately really interested, so I followed up with him in an email and got selected.
My name is Hannah. I am a freshman, and Mr. Leeper had mentioned it, and at first I was a bit iffy about it because I was also doing the VEX Robotics Club, but eventually I had my mom email him back, and I am so glad that I did.
Okay.
Well, why don't you show the arm?
Yeah. All right. This is our first arm.
You need to speed it up a little bit?
Oh, yeah, sorry. Hold on, all right. So this is our first arm, and this is the Unlimited arm with the Phoenix palm. So we had the thermoformed forearm, which was really cool because it takes a lot less time to print, and then it's really easy to form to the right size.
What were the results of our first test?
Well, so the first time printing the forearm, we had trouble getting the strings to be flush with the cuff, but that just required some elbow grease. We just had to push it really hard to be able to push it down. But yeah, I mean, a lot of this first arm was really trial and error and calibration with the printer. Overhang was a big issue for us, and I actually have some parts here. So that is, if it'll focus on that, you can see that the underside just looks really, it doesn't look like a clean, smooth finish, and so it took a lot of calibration and just trial and error to get something to be like a smooth finish, and that was very time consuming. That was probably the hardest thing. Yeah. And so that was all. That was really only one of the difficulties. We've also had it leaves little lines, kind of, and that's because it's printing too quick, or it's moving too quickly right after it prints. So for that, we actually just had the z-axis move up about one revolution on the bearing, and then it would move and then come back down and do it again. So it's just a lot of troubleshooting and error analysis and everything.
And I know from the spreadsheet you have posted that you still have some issues, right? You're still working on some fit and some design issues?
Yes.
And I know that certainly posting those is great because both Stephen and Drew can weigh in and tell you their experience. This is their arm, and there's a bunch of other people in the community who have printed them who may be able to offer you some assistance or some guidance on either some of the print settings or on certainly on the assembly. But this is really amazing. I think you're the first student group that I know of that's actually printed one of these arms, because so that's pretty special. And you're actually working with someone, right? You're working with this little girl.
Hmm.
Yes. We just recently had a meeting with the little girl. Her name's Hope, and that's where we got, some of the issues with the arm. So we're working on that right now. This is the experimental, so obviously it's gray. It's going to be like pink and purple and all those pretty colors. So yeah.
What kind of customizing are you doing to the arms?
I modeled we converted the STL file for the forearm and for the cuff into an IPT so that I could edit it. And at the meeting, we had talked to her about like some of the different decals that we could do, and she said that she loved the idea of having her name on it.
Okay.
So recently we've been trying to get some fun fonts or some other like cute way to write her name on the forearm. We're doing hearts. I asked her about baby music notes because she said that she was into singing. Like, we are completely open to anything that she may want, and her mom is completely willing to email it to us. So
Good. I think I would like to do more customization on the arm, as like kind of trying to make new parts for it and everything too. I think would be cool. See if I could contribute some way to the design community.
Absolutely. I would encourage you to post in the community, get some advice there, see if there's anything there that's useful or helpful to the changes or the modifications you want to make. There are a lot of people who can probably offer some guidance, but I think this is awesome. Oh, Rich, you have something?
Yeah, actually, I was wondering if I could ask a question of either the students or Peter. So it sounds like what you guys are doing is very different from what a lot of people would think a classroom would look like, where the teacher has all the ideas and all the answers, and they just sort of give them to the kids, and then they parrot them back. It sounds like you're going forward, and it sounds like it's almost as much discovery for your teacher as it is for you guys. Can I just ask a little bit about that model? How does that feel? Does it feel different from your other classes? Is that exciting? Is that, and maybe for Peter, like, how does that feel to be figuring things out as your students are figuring them out as well?
Hey, great question. I love it. This is a problem project-based approach. For years I taught math and I was in control of everything. This is much different, and I am not the holder of all the knowledge. And that's a wonderful thing. Might be an insecure feeling for some, but I present the problems and I manage the process with the kids. But they're the ones that do the work. They're the ones that they do the research and the trial and error, and they learn persistence. They see themselves as legitimate problem solvers. They're doing authentic work. I think it's empowering, and it's the most fun I've ever had as a teacher using this approach.
Yeah, how about the students? What is it like to be in a project like this where your teacher doesn't have all the answers? You guys are sort of put in a position to have to find the answers yourselves.
Well, as a senior, I think that high school is kind of almost high school is like build up my troubleshooting skills, and I think it would be harder for younger students, but with experience from all these different classes, I think that I've been equipped with the tools I need to do research and figure out what I'm dealing with and how I should go about it.
I'm a freshman, and I haven't had as much experience as he has, but I still really enjoy the format that I get to contribute my personal thoughts and ideas.
I would say I'm in his IED class, and we recently finished the train project, and I had a lot of trouble getting my train to actually drive down the track, and I had to ask Mr. Leeper for help. Like, it was a lot of troubleshooting, and It's similar to what we're doing with this project, but not quite as difficult. This project has incredibly affected me in my troubleshooting and my problem solving, and that I've gotten a lot better at it, I guess.
Yeah, it's a great learning opportunity as well as, just helping out the community and helping with the girl who we're helping. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah,
I think
I
I think they're being a little too humble. I think they've contributed just as much as I have to the design and the troubleshooting and everything too. So.
Awesome. Yeah, I just wanted to use the chance to just make a little pitch for project-based learning. It's often, a little, as Peter alluded, it's a different approach, but putting a teacher in the position of either coach or kind of guide on the side as opposed to like somebody standing in front of a class delivering allows students like yourselves to be put in the position where you have to figure out both the questions that have to be asked but also try to find the answers as well, especially when you're working with an actual recipient. That's powerful stuff, and I'm sure you guys are learning a ton of stuff that doesn't even have to do with 3D printing or arm building. You're learning some really amazing skills to approach a project. So kudos to both you guys and your teacher as well. Nice work.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And it reminds me of the other day, Rich and I had a conversation with another educator, Chris Kraft, who's doing a big hand event. And he said that one of the motivating things for him at some point was someone said to him, don't ask kids what they want to be when they grow up. Ask them what problems they want to solve. And that's where you start getting the real learning going. And, I think that you guys are a perfect example of that. I think that it's amazing. Sorry, Rich, you had
something? I think one of the things about 3D printing is because it's such a new technology for schools, oftentimes teachers are sort of put in that position where they're teaching a class and they don't necessarily have as good a grasp of the technology as even students might have. And that's, as Peter alluded, that's sort of like, that can be unsettling, but it's also an exciting thing where all of a sudden you're now moving forward with students. And I think we see that with a lot of e-NABLE teachers when they bring this into their classroom. It is just a whole set of problems to be solved as opposed to this content that is being delivered. So thanks a lot for breaking the ground, you guys, especially with that arm. I'm about to do a similar project with my 8th graders here, and we're certainly looking to you guys and all of the resources you're putting together in terms of the problems that you're running into. So very cool. I should also mention we've also had some conversations with Project Lead the Way. They're really interested in just the idea of authentic uses for 3D printing and even a little bit 3D designing as well. So you guys are helping us also make forays into that incredible organization too. So thanks a lot for that.
And I'd like to add that in that conversation I was talking about with Chris Kraft and Rich, we talked about having a hangout to talk about putting arms together. We've done one here, so John Diamond and I were going to be there. And I think we would like very much if you would be amenable to including you guys in that conversation or that hangout as well, because you've got a lot of experience in putting the arm together. So I'll try and coordinate that if there'd be an interest. And you guys could help out some other students who want to do a similar sort of project. And you're ahead of them on that, so I think that would be a great opportunity for some collaborative work as well, if you'd be amenable to that, to helping out some other students.
Absolutely.
Sort of being their mentors.
Absolutely. Yep.
Okay, very good. Does anybody else, I don't see any questions in our question and answer, but does anybody else on the call have anything? I think what you guys are doing is fabulous and wonderful. I can't wait to hear more about it. And the troubleshooting, the spreadsheet that you put up, I thought was that was really a fantastic way of working through the issues and for us to see the process you're going through. Quite often we have people come to town hall to talk after they have already completed something and it's done, and we don't see the difficulties and the challenges that went into getting to that point. And you are enabling us to, no pun intended, you are enabling us to see that process. And I think that that is extremely valuable. So thank you very much, and please continue to share that process as it goes along, and maybe you can come back and provide us with some updates now and then, because I think there's quite a lot of value in it, and also I'm personally very interested in it.
Yeah, I'd love to. Thank you for having us.
Thank you very much. You're welcome to stick around for the rest of the hangout, or you don't need to if you don't want to. And thank you very much. I really appreciate you taking the time to come here. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. Rich, do you want to do an education update? Are you able to?
Actually, Justine, I didn't have too much more than just the presentations by Chris and Peter. Those were awesome. Just perfect examples of teachers taking the initiative, kind of putting themselves out there a little bit, but also bringing their students along with the ride. So, of course, we've had tons of awesome things this week in terms of other schools, and as Justine mentioned, we're looking to have another full-on teacher hangout in the next few weeks, probably mid-March, and we'll be sending out invitations to that, both for participants but also to view. If you're a teacher or if you know a teacher who might be interested in e-NABLE or is already involved, if you could just ask them to go to the e-NABLE Community Foundation website and register as part of the E3 STEAM. That way we can send invitations to you and everything. But yeah, that was awesome to see those teachers doing great work. So thanks for that.
Okay, that was really great. Okay, let me get back to talking about some of the other things that have happened in the community this week. Just give me 1 second. So there's been lots happening in the community. You may have seen that we had 2 scout events, one from Rajendran and one from Zach McCleary. Rajendran got a ton, that's Vishak. I don't know why I just had his last name there. Vishak had a lot of publicity with an event he did in Arizona, which included an amputee coming to talk about his experiences and that he was very inspired by what was going on. There is footage of that in the community, in the G+ community, and you should watch that. Stephen Davies there was a post, Stephen Davies was nominated. He's in the running for an award in the UK. Joe Cross posted about the work that he's doing in Ghana. There's an event coming up that is in Austin, and Artie Moskowitz asked if there was anyone in Austin, Texas that can help with an e-NABLE Handathon this weekend. It's at Body Hacking Convention at the Austin Convention Center on Saturday and Sunday. And he was planning to run it, but he's had a medical emergency and can't get there. So he's given a contact for another person and an email, and I will post that both in the community and on the comments for this page if someone wants to get involved or if they can help him out with that. Today, as I said, all our guests were in education. I think that was fabulous. In the next couple of weeks, we've got some more educators, informal and formal, coming to visit us. We're going to have Vishak's coming next week because he's off of school. And we are also going to have a teacher from Connecticut who's been doing some great work, Jeff Spivey. He'll be joining us with his students next week as well. Staying on this theme of education, I'm going to pass this over to Marla Parker, who's going to talk about, this has all been K through 12, so we're going to talk about some post-secondary. Are you available yet, Marla? She is not just now. Last year, we had a pilot internship program that you probably know. We've brought people in periodically to talk about the work that they did in their internships. Marla, you're there.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I couldn't find the unmute button for myself. I realized I have to unmute myself.
Yes, I can mute you, but I can't unmute you.
Right. I know. So yes, I'm happy to announce that the 2016 Summer Fellowships, or Summer Internships, we're calling them now, program is open. It's published on the ECF website. I posted it in the community. We are budgeted right now to award 4 internships to students at whatever research institute of higher learning, colleges, universities, labs, if there are research labs that want to have a student working for them in the government or something like that. And these students can be any students, really. They could even be high school students have occasionally done this, but more typically it's college students or graduate students or even postgraduate students. The application process is really simple. These awards are not, the funds are for a student internship over the summer, but the awards are not given directly to the student. The awards are given to the principal investigator at the school. So it's pretty simple, but the PI is absolutely definitely required, and there is some minimal reporting that's required by the PI, like a plan from the PI's point of view for what the student is supposed to do. And then the student needs to produce a more detailed plan, obviously. And then similarly, at the end of the year, there's reports. And the website, the ECF website, has examples of the work that happened last year at the schools that participated in the pilot program that Justine mentioned.
I shared that.
So we hope that we hope to see some good one-page proposals from principal investigators who either already have a student that they would like to work with this summer, or they're planning to work with, and they could use our funds. Because sometimes students work on e-NABLE stuff just for free, which is sort of a lost opportunity for them. You know, they could be doing some kind of a summer job or you know, a paid research position, and so this is an opportunity for some of that work to actually be paid. Or if the PI doesn't have an student yet, but they can recruit one, you know, we can consider those also. The point I want to make, though, is that both are required. We can't just award to a student without a PI, and we can't award to a PI unless they can get a student, obviously. And that's pretty much it. If there's any questions, I'll be on the call and I can answer, or you can ask in the community. And I will be sending an email to all of the university level educators that are registered with the e-NABLE Educators Exchange program also.
Okay, as well, if you have any questions, you can email me and I will post in the comments for this event, and I will make sure that Marla gets them, and we will help you out. There is another question in the community, and that's from Colin, who is putting together a hand-a-thon event in Canada, in Calgary. We had him on, I believe, last week or the week before. Its question is to you, Melina, and she says that he's putting on his assembly event in March. He wants to make 30 hands, and he's wondering exactly what amount of each size and left-right combination would be best.
Hey, Colin, I'm actually sending you an email as we speak.
Okay.
So we'll catch up. If you need to, we can plan a call to you and talk about it.
Okay, thank you. I think I'm just waiting to see if we have any other additional questions. That was quite a lot with education. It was really very exciting. We have so much exciting stuff happening in the education field right now. I'm very happy to be able to share as much of this with everyone at Town Hall as I can. It's always a great day when we can bring in educators and their students. And other than that, I'm just going to check through to see if there was anything else that I had. Remember too, if you have a event or if you've got something for Town Hall, to drop me a line. We'll get you scheduled and get in here. I generally sort of, I guess, troll the community and I go to the R&D Hangouts to find out what people are doing and see where the interest is. And sometimes it comes from a post on Facebook or a news story I see. But if there's something you're doing, or if there's something we should be looking at, you should let me know. As a matter of fact, I did get an email earlier today from a community member who's putting together a printer initiative, and I'm going to be talking to him this week, I hope, and we will probably get him into Town Hall next week to talk about that. Next week, an organization called, let me see if I can just share my screen on this 1 second. An organization, there's a company called Be the Swarm. They put out little games, and if you play the games, the money that gets raised from in-ad purchases and in-game purchases and ads, the revenue that they generate, they donate to an organization, and we are the organization that they're going to be using, I think, starting on the 28th of February. I'll have more about it later, but they are an organization called Be the Swarm. So you may have seen there was a blog post that they posted about e-NABLE about 2 weeks ago. That was in the community. I'll have more from them probably this weekend, and I will let you know.